Alrighty, so for week 6, the Thursday night item, maybe I can get through this in one. I think I can. First, you'll complete what we started here. Now, this is where I've said it can be a little hard to say exactly because you all have different templates, therefore a different number of files, but I would say do your very best to cover as much of that as possible. I will review your index files too because I want to see that you've covered most of it. Right, continuing to talk about the same thing you did last week, which is looking at mainly the Bootstrap CSS and then any other any other CSS that was in there. And like I showed you, if there was other things like other libraries that were used, like slideshow libraries or other things, do that. Okay, so that's the first thing. So finish up as much as you can. Make a good effort here because, like I said, this work is really going to benefit you when you go to do the next step. Okay, so now the second item, I should roll these weeks up so they don't keep showing up. But you guys ever done this, right? Where you roll them up. So on the second item, we're going to build your site from the template. Okay, and this will vary based on your template. Now, what I have here, and this is what I recommend doing, is opening up your GitHub IO site just as the root, like we did when we were copying it over. Okay. That's the same thing I want to have here because at this point, if you remember me, and I hope yours is like this as well, is that you should have nothing, no index in the root. When we say the root, this means right here at your username GitHub.io based on the way we have it opened. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do now, I've got my template here, and that's cool, right? So all I'm going to do to start is I am just going to copy everything over. Okay. I'm just going to drag it. Now, where am I going to go drag it? Because right now it's setting in that template. But the thing is, I want to leave intact all these files because the whole reason I put them in a template folder is so that later if I change something, I could go back and look at it without having to go down, find the download. It's all right here in my VS Code, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy. Okay. And now where am I going to paste? I'm going to roll this up just so it makes it a little cleaner. Okay. And I'm going to click into here. I believe this should work. I'm going to right click and then I'm going to hit paste. And what that should do, oh, and it did, right? So it brought the asset down, it brought the forms down. There's the index file. So I still have, and this can get a little confusing, so just take your time and look at it as you're working through it, right? There's my template intact. And now here's the template files because I just grabbed them, copied them, selected into here and hit paste, right? So all those files are now in here. And now I want to go through and get rid of stuff I no longer need, right? So let's see, readme gives me a link. I don't need that. I know where that's at. I can go find it, right? I'm going to get rid of that. Now, here's what you want to do though before you start getting rid of stuff. Go ahead and fire up your server, right? I'm going to go live. Now remember, I'm going live not in the template, but in the root of my GitHub IO. Okay. Now, why is that important? Because right now the site's rendering perfectly, looks good, right? So now I'm going to go through and go, okay, I'm not going to look in here, but I am going to look at assets. CSS, I only have one of those. I need that. Here are the images, the favicons. Okay. Portfolio. Okay. These I need. JavaScript. There's something in here for, let's see. Yeah, probably nothing I absolutely need, but I'll keep it because it's JavaScript and who knows, right? Now, the SCSS, which is what I talked about before, which is processing CSS. I don't need this. And not only that, it's only a README file. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that folder. And when I delete that folder, I'm going to run back over here, right click inspect. And that's why you want to piecemeal this thing is I want to go back over here and make sure I'm going to roll this up because all I want to be looking at is the console. Is there any really thing I need to take care of? I don't see these 13 issues they're talking about. I don't really see any errors, so I should be good to go there. And then under vendor, I have that form. I don't need that any longer. I don't know what this is. This is so, again, in my analysis, the more I've done the analysis here, the more I'll understand if that's something I'm going to use. Form PHP, I'm probably not going to use that, right? Because like I told you, we're not going to handle the server side here pure. Okay, so this is a configurable counter of some type, swipe, typed JS, animated library. Probably fine. I'll probably need them, right? So for mine, I didn't really have to get rid of a lot, which is cool, right? But again, you want to go through there and look at, take a look at everything. And then, but the most important thing is just to make sure once you have copied it into the root, then go ahead and do your Git workflow again. Git add star, Git commit dash M, right? Building site from template folder. Okay. Oh, and look at all those files, right? And now, remember before when I went to my GitHub, it was rendering, right, the README file. So now this should git add, oh, sorry, git push. And when I do this, look at that, takes a moment. Even on this really fast internet I have here, and it's probably going to take a moment for it to show up. But once it does, then I would copy this and that's what I would share, right? In building your site and just talk about, right? Just talk about your link, you know, talk about the process you went through, any challenges you ran into with this one. It doesn't have to be a lot of writing, but no replies needed. Okay, let's go to the next and the last one for this week. So one of the things about being a web developer that I think people may not always immediately think about is you still need soft skills. You might go, what's soft skills, right? Time management, creative thinking, conflict resolution, big one, teamwork, networking. So read through here, right? Understand a little more about what those are. And here's what I want you to do, right? Because this is going to be something important. It might actually be the difference between you and another candidate if you're looking for that first junior developer position, is that you might have more soft skills, the ability to work with people, talk with people. These are great skills to have, right? We don't work with just screens, we also work with people. Find articles and bring us back your understanding. How many times I've said this, I'm going to say it again, right? Don't cut and paste content. Write it in your own words. So go find things about soft skills and maybe it's about how to work on them, right? Maybe it's about good examples of how they're used. But bring us back what you learned from doing this, right? And then give us links to videos or articles, whichever one you do. And this one you do need to do replies. All right, I think that's it. I hope that helps you out. Again, this copying it over will vary, and this is where you can come get help, right? If you need some help, come get help on this one. I'd be happy to help you if you run into anything here, which, by the way, I'm thinking maybe I could get rid of these two, right? I think I probably could. I'm going to spend a little time. Actually, I should have spent a little time already. That was my bad. Now I get to do that. All right, now it's time for me to do the attendance so I can release it.